Hello, this is and I am Kitty Hollywood. Today's review is of a high-type, clean-cut, nice young film, 1943 Columbia release, The More the Merrier. It's produced and directed by George Stevens. The music is by Lee Harline. The cinematography by Ted Tetzlaff. The art direction by Lionel Banks and Rudolph Sternad. And it stars Jean Arthur, Joel McCrea and Charles Coburn. It's set in wartime Washington, which is in the grip of a massive housing shortage. Rumbas, cute little Italian cars and missing pants ensue. Now, Jean Arthur was a big star for Columbia at this point in time. She had done Mr. Deeds Goes to Town, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, both big Frank Capra films. The Devil and Miss Jones, also with Charles Coburn, and The Talk of the Town by this point in time. She was notoriously reclusive. She refused to do any publicity for a film, and she had started refusing films based on their script. She felt that she had so little faith in herself as an actor that she felt that she wouldn't be able to turn around a film with a bad script and turn it into something good. Columbia was getting cranky with her. So she and her husband Frank Ross went to Garson Kanin and asked him to create something for her. Now, Garson Kanin is this amazing writer. He had written prolifically for Katharine Hepburn and Spencer Tracy. He wrote the stage play Born Yesterday, which became the film Born Yesterday, starring Judy Holliday in both instances. And he wrote the musical Funny Girl, just to name a few things. He came up with the short story Two's a Crowd. Fantastic. It was fleshed into a longer story by Frank Ross and by Robert Russell. And then it became a screenplay written by Frank Ross, Robert Russell, Louis R. Foster, and Richard Flournoy. Harry Cohn, who was the head of Columbia Studios, gave it the green light. They were good to go. George Stevens came on next. He had directed The Talk of the Town with Jean Arthur in it, so they were already worked together very well. He's this amazing director. He directed A Place in the Sun. He directed Shane, he directed Giant, just to name a few, and he was always, the script was very important. It was sharp as a tack. He understood people and their relationship to each other, so good stuff here. They went in search of Joel McCrea. Joel McCrea is this delightfully unassuming actor who looked upon acting as a job that you went to every day, not as a stepping stone to fame and what it could get you. He signed up, even though he'd already done a couple of films that year and was thinking maybe it's time for me to have a bit of a rest. No, he agreed to do it. They went after Charles Coburn. After that, he signed. They were set.
You, looking for someone?
Who are you? How did you get in here?
Well, I live here.
Since when?
Since this morning.
You don't by any chance happen to know a gentleman by the name of Mr. Benjamin Dingle, do you?
In part, it's such an interesting film because it deals with a really specific time and subject matter. Washington was genuinely in the grip of a huge housing shortage. This was mostly due to the war. People were flocking to Washington from all across the country to work as part of the war effort. At one point in time, the Defense Housing Registry processed 10,000 people in the space of a month, and there simply were not enough beds, not enough rooms to put everybody. It was a true problem. But then a really great writer can take the seeds of a hideous mess and turn it into something that is brilliantly comic.
It's no use you're looking because I made up my mind to rent to nobody but a woman.
So let me ask you something. Would I ever want to wear your stockings?
No.
All right. Would I ever want to borrow your girdle or your red and yellow dancing slippers?
Of course not.
Well, any woman, no matter who, would insist upon borrowing that dress you got on right now. You know why? Because it's so pretty.
I made it myself.
Then how would you like it if she spilled a cocktail all over it at a party you couldn't go with her to because she'd borrowed it to go to it?
She might have something that I could wear.
Not her.
Why not?
Because she's so dumpy looking. Never has anything clean. That's why she's always borrowing your dresses.
The three actors perform, look, really as if they've just met each other on the playground and decided to be best friends. Jean Arthur was so insecure, but as a result she's got this vulnerability about her, and that voice, by the way. And actually in her very early career she was a silent movie actor, so there was years and years and years and years and nobody knew that she possessed that voice. Anyhow, she's wonderful. Joel McCrea, it would be easy to assign him bland as an actor, but it's not fair to him at all. And you watch the low-key mellow way in which he and Jean Arthur interact, and you're just blown away by him.
Look, I put your initial put on C for Constance.
Shouldn't have done that.
Well, I didn't. C stands for Carter, too. I really bought it for myself, but the government won't let me take it where I'm going, so you might as well keep it.
Silly.
Look, honey, I want to give it to you. Will it kill you to do me a favor and keep it? All I'm asking is that you accept as a gift, no strings attached, one genuine cowhide traveling bag. Will you please?
And Charles Coburn. Now, look, Charles Coburn had been a stage actor. He made his film debut at the age of 60. It would be really, really easy to play Benjamin Dingle, retired millionaire, as an annoying busybody who just sticks his nose into everybody's business. But Charles Coburn has this amazing gleam of understanding in his eye that makes him acceptable. Charles Coburn, incidentally, won a Best Supporting Actor Oscar for this film, and he and his little song really make this film. There's so much that makes this film, quite honestly. It's not a matter of starting the film and thinking, it's all right, I'm just waiting to get to the blah blah scene. Every scene in this film is just golden. Having said that though, there is the stoop scene. Now, it's a love scene. The production code looked down upon gratuitous lechery in a film. Many good directors took this as a direct challenge. How to get around this little problem. In this scene, look, there are extras canoodling in corners as Joel McCrea and Jean Arthur walk down this darkened street. They talk about day-to-day nothingnesses, and yet he cannot keep his hands off her body, and she dances around him, never mentioning it as they go on and talk about the this and the that, and it is so sexy. If you like watching a great 1940s love scene, this is the one to go to. Okay, what else about the film? You get to see these little pockets of day-to-day life in wartime Washington that are really quite amusing. There's the whole a shortage of men, 8 women to every man in Washington that sort of work very nicely and got a nice, lovely touch of humour to them. There's also the fact there was petrol rationing during the war, and there was a ban on taking pleasure motoring trips, so you couldn't go out to the countryside on your weekend if you were trying to relax. You hung out on your roof along with the rest of Washington, which actually makes for a really lovely scene. It would be easy to write this film off as, you know, Jean Arthur's a stick in the mud, Joel McCrea is a low-key mechanic, and Charles Coburn is a busybody, but that would not be fair to the film or to the actors at all. George Stevens has this understanding of humanity that means he's able to tap into each of the characters' weaknesses and their foibles and play them off against each other in this beautiful way that makes this film really a tour de force and sadly forgotten in many instances. So, watch The More the Merrier. Watch it for the missing pants scene. Watch it for Mr. Pendergast and his unmentioned toupee. Watch it for the 3 little bows that Jean Arthur wears in the back of her hair when she goes to work one day. Just watch it. 10 out of 10.